Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the BBO NYG podcast. I am Mike. That is Jules. That is John. Special guest Vin is back on the show. Obviously, he came on a tag team with Jules about the Barkley because they're Barkley haters. Me and John obviously love Barkley. We're going to get into Barkley, right away. But if you're watching on YouTube, Jules is like living in like a new house. I think he might be in Saquon Barkley's old fucking house.
Right.
Barkley moved out. He moved in.
His shit.
Wow, you moved right in there. You didn't wait any second. So listen, obviously everybody that knows, follow me on Twitter. They know I got a dog, bulldog. I named Barkley. Obviously, it's depressing news. I named him after Saquon. So obviously, I had to take Barkley to the pound yesterday and I say goodbye. So
did you give him to another family or you just put him down just straight away?
I just shot him dead right there in front of the pound. I'm like, yo,
old school, to the back of the head.
You clean this mess up.
Old yellow.
Now that'd be insane if I really did. I didn't do that for the people that listen. I'm actually very sad. I didn't want Barkley to go. Obviously, I wanted him re-signed, and to make matters worse, he has to go to the most hated team on the face of the planet, the Eagles. And now, listen, I'll just give my 2 cents, and then somebody else could go. Obviously, love the guy. I wanted him to get his money. I thought he deserved it. But you know what? It's time to move on. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to admit it. After the rest of the day went on, I felt a little better, but I'm gonna miss him. I support him. I understand he went because of family, all that situation. He's closer to home. And it was just one of those deals where I'm going to be okay with him right now, but once I see him in that ugly ass green uniform, it's going to be different. I'm going to be like, yo, fuck this guy, unless I draft him on fantasy and he's putting up 30 points and I'll fucking love the guy again, but
fuck fantasy.
You know what I mean?
That right there is the exact reason I hate fantasy.
Can't be
a true fan anymore. Can't let your loyalty bleed. Bro, that shit was a shot in the heart, man. When you guys were texting about Saquon going to the Eagles, I'm going to just be blissfully in denial until I get an actual update from fucking ESPN on notification or NFL. Somebody, not a text message. And then fucking it finally came through and it was the Eagles. And I was like, bro. And I'm doing the math and I'm like, he's only getting 13 and change a year. So that means he left for a couple $1 million to go to the fucking Eagles. Like, that's like you have an arch rival in high school and your fucking girl goes and fucking leaves you for him. Like, that's as fucking deep cut as you can get right there. And I got this fucking signed Saquon jersey hanging over my computer over here.
Toss in the garbage.
Fucking burn that shit.
Yeah, I was gonna just take my 9 out and just fucking put a couple holes in it.
That's gonna make some good wood.
But I got a controversial take. Like after letting like it marinate and like the initial like I can't believe this kind of settle. Looking back at his Giants career, we're about to hear 2 different takes that's going to lead exactly to this. Since the day he was drafted, actually before he was even drafted, Giants fans have talked shit. You don't draft a running back that high, positional value. He's not worth it. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. And his entire time that he was in New York or New Jersey, whatever you want to call it, he's had to deal with not only slings and arrows from outside his fan base, but from within his own fan base for 6 years at this point. You got to remember, it's 6 years is a long fucking time to be hated by your own fucking team. That's like every time you go to a family reunion, all your cousins, all your aunts and uncles just talking shit about you. Oh, you're worthless, you're this, you're that, every single fucking time. Then you get hurt, they kick you while you're down. Like, you're eventually going to say, yo, fuck you guys, and I can't wait to get the fuck out of here. And I'm going to go right in your backyard. I'm going to see you twice a year. I'm going to run for 300 yards a year right on your ass, and I'm going to feel good about it every single time. And you honestly, like, I can't fucking blame the guy for wanting to do that shit, bro. He didn't grow up a Giants fan. He grew up a Jets fan. He grew up in Pennsylvania also. So he had no loyalty to the franchise other than the loyalty that we should have reciprocated to him to make him feel like he wanted to stay and sacrifice a few $1 million for his family to continue his Giants legacy. But what we did was we shat on him 365 days a year for 6 consecutive years.
Well, Jules and Vin,
what?
Jules and Vin chat on him. Me and you, we supported him for day one.
Yeah, but most of the fan base, most of the social media world, most of your sports pundits, most of everybody just it was like vitriol for the pick, and Gettleman's a fool, and the Barkley's not work. Like imagine like working your whole life to come to a goal. You get drafted second overall, and then like everybody around you that's supposed to be like your cheerleaders is fucking talking shit directly to your face. Like you got Channel 70, you got ESPN, like you're gonna watch that shit too. You're gonna have Twitter, your Giants fans are following you. It's coming up on your feed seeing, oh, Saquon Barkley is not fucking worth. Like you can't not get angry about that as a human being. And honestly, I don't fucking blame him. And I don't want to see him run for 150 yards per game against us. I don't want to see him, run fucking at all. I hope Dex fucking, plants him in the ground, then fucking he gets, the same way he got, -3 yards on 16 touches with us. I hope that shit happens with the Eagles too.
It won't.
But I don't fucking blame him, bro. I don't fucking blame him if I want to go to a team that actually functions, can make the playoffs, has a decent offensive line, knows how to build a football team. He's got a few years left in his career. And then his entire legacy, his entire life's work is over. That's it. That's it. He's got 3 more years max to make Saquon Barkley a legacy name. And he wasn't able to do it for the first 6 years. And he got kicked while he was down the whole time.
I guess he died yesterday.
Vinny, I'll let you rebut that.
John, you make some fair points, but I am one of those people that gave him that vitriol because I thought the second pick, the move there was quarterback. Now, in hindsight, a lot of those quarterbacks didn't work out. But at 2, I don't like a running back. And the position is the position. And there is one thing about Saquon that we can't not talk about. He was here for 6 years. Other than his rookie year and the year we went to the playoffs, every other year was either injury or it was less than average. It wasn't even good.
It was markedly unproductive for his talent, but that's not his fault.
Whatever the case may be, he's a gold jacket guy according to Gettleman. He was the second pick, and I can't make the excuses. Just like we can't give the excuses to Daniel Jones. Just like we got to get good. These players have to perform if they're in the top 10 pick in the draft. They have to. Yeah. Same goes for Thibodeau. Same goes for Neal. Just because of how high they were drafted. So I don't think he's a gold jacket guy. I think he was, if anything, I think the Giants offense, I think the Giants are a much better team without Barkley. And let me explain that. I think that our offense, if we go with a committee approach, and I love Singletary, the kid, he's the same age as Barkley. He's healthy. He's fresh. If we go with a committee approach, it makes our offense a little bit more dynamic. We're not forced to feeding Saquon the ball. We have a power guy. Hopefully, we'll have one by training camp. Somebody that runs between the tackles. And then we have like that scat back that catches the ball out the backfield. Singletary knows Dable's system. I thought Singletary was a good signing for a fraction of the price. That money that wouldn't be tied up in Saquon, like now we'll get into it later on in this pod, but now we had some leeway. I think running back, for Philly, it makes a lot of sense. And I agree with you, John. I don't blame Saquon. Like Saquon went for one reason. He got his bag. He got his guaranteed money. And Harry Roseman, that piece of garbage, who really wants to stick it to Giants for whatever reason it is. I heard he was in on McKinney too, just to be a piece of garbage.
Yes.
But also with that, I say Harry Roseman is probably the best GM in the game. I think he's super aggressive. He gets the guy he wants and he makes it happen. But with that being said, he gave him the $12 million a year. I don't think Saquon is worth $12 million a year. Thank God we have a GM that sees the bigger picture. And he sees a year later, Shane gave him 3 fair offers last season. It was the bye week, and then like towards the end of the year, and then again, and then tagged him, and then worked out that 1-year deal with him. And thank God Saquon came back, but his agents kind of pinned him to a wall. I think Saquon lost that PR battle, never came out with the low guaranteed money. We still don't know to this day, as far as I'm concerned, where Harry Roseman took that and was like, I'm moving off of Swift. I'm gonna grab Saquon. It's in the division. I'm gonna at least get a good year. I wouldn't be surprised that Saquon doesn't finish this contract, where there'll be injuries, or Philly just moves off of guys very quickly. Very quickly. Give a couple injuries, Saquon, and things go south. Saquon will be somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like the guy Roseman is just super aggressive. Look at all the running backs he's had in the last few years. He could have good years, and he moves off of them. He moves off of them. He's constantly moving. So, Saquon, I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for Sterling Shepard. I don't feel bad for Odell Beckham. These guys that Giant fans are enamored with all equate one thing to me: losing. There's been a lot of fucking losing, and I'm over it. And I don't know why Sterling Shepard gets all this love from Giants fans. I'm sorry, I'm jumping into him. I don't get it. Like, the dude didn't really do anything. He was a second-round pick, had a good rookie year, dropped some balls in that Green Bay game, which I was at, and I'm pissed at. And then since then, he was just an injury risk. And we kept bringing him back because he's a good locker room guy. Fuck that. Like, we need to get good. We need good players. And I think this guy, Shane, he needs to draft well. The jury's still out on his drafting, but his free agency, the way he is running this cap, I'm a fan. He's going to build this team inside out. You got to get those trenches fixed. Please get that offensive line fixed. And let's go. Barkley's been in our way, and now he's out. The drama is a diversion, and I'm all for it.
Jules?
Yeah, I was gonna give it to you there, Mike. But
I know you are. I know you.
Let's just be real here. Number one, Barkley's not even a top 5 Giant running back. Period. Stop. And I'll fucking name 6, 7 running backs that had better careers as a Giant. Hands fucking down. Hands fucking down, dude. He's
Tiki
not.
Barber's
Tiki Barber number 1 by fucking
True.
a landslide. It's not
True.
even. The guy we met last year, Rodney Hampton, better fucking Giants career. All right,
man.
Bradshaw and fucking
Jacobs.
better combination.
Joe Morris?
Joe Morris.
Otis Anderson?
Otis Anderson.
Dude, like, you can just keep going. It's disgusting. And this fucking guy thinks he's CMC and he's not. He was a fucking you know who Barkley.
But he will be.
Is? You know who?
Yeah, that's where you're wrong. That's where you go too far.
You know who his career currently mirrors? Leonard Fournette. He's the same fucking dude. There is
in the same position.
In Leonard Fournette,
but you got to think in the same position.
Barkley. Nothing.
The talent's there. It's a team's not.
I can say the same.
Team's lagging like that, bro. It's not.
Fournette was nasty at LSU. I think he was drafted number 4 or 5 overall. So they were just, maybe a pick or two apart, right? He goes to fucking Jacksonville, has a great rookie season, very similar to Barkley's. And then what happens? Injuries, this whole fucking entitlement that they think they're better than they fucking actually are. That's all Saquon Barkley is. He's a nice person, but as a player, he thinks he's the same guy he was as a rookie and that he was even better than he was his rookie year, and he never was. And that's just the fucking point, period, stop.
Jules, can I ask you a question?
Last 2 seasons, though, you want to say that fucking Barkley, oh my God, he's getting fucked over. Guy's worth $25 fucking million, bro. Enough with the fucking sorry, all right? He's making more money than all 4 of us combined will all make in the rest of our fucking lives. So cry me a fucking river, you're underpaid, you little bitch. All right?
Whoa.
He's a Giant for life.
Stop the clock.
Yo, all right. We'll stop. Well, I'm going to take a time out. Go ahead.
Jules, is this new place you're in? Is it an insane asylum? Are you locked in against your will? You're talking all crazy.
Bro. They took the padding off the wall, all right?
I think you ripped them
down.
down.
A doorknob on that door right there. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, when Barkley left, he ripped down that padding yesterday.
You know what I'm saying, bro? Yo, listen, dude. And then you sit there and you say that you're a Giant for life. You want to be a Giant for life for the past 2 seasons now. It's not like he was just saying this shit. Past 2 fucking seasons. You're such a captain that your C is full gold on your jersey. That's the type of representation you're putting forth for this team. And you go to our most heated rival, who over the last 5 seasons, pretty much throughout your entire career, has been trying to undercut the New York Giants organization in general with crazy trades with Dallas, going out and fucking signing Bradbury, doing all this crazy shit. You get offered more guaranteed money to play with an up-and-coming Texas team that literally just went to the playoffs and lost in the second round, has a young quarterback and a young star on defense that won both Rookie of the Year on both sides of the ball, and you turn that down to go play in fucking Philly?
because
have
the money
no
was
respect
higher.
for
The money
yourself,
was
bro.
higher. He went
The
for
money
the
was
money.
higher,
The
and it's
overall
also
money,
an
but the
act.
guaranteed
He
money
gets
was
to
higher in
to
Texas.
fucking wrestle some demons, bro.
Yo, but
Like-
the guaranteed money was higher in Texas, man.
Oh, because
sure
of
about
taxes.
that?
No
Guaranteed
taxes.
up
No
front.
taxes though in Texas.
Yeah, and no
either.
Yeah,
taxes
but he gets to
too,
stick it
bro.
to the
Like,
Giants fans, bro. That's what you're missing here.
yeah.
Derek Jeter hated losing more than he loved winning. Saquon Barkley hated fans like you more than he loved fans like us. That's
See,
why
I
he's in
love
Philly right
Barkley.
now.
I love
A
him
couple
back
$1
in
million
Penn State.
and to say fuck
But
you
he's
guys.
listen,
That's what he's in Philly for right
you
now.
brought up Derek Jeter, right? Derek Jeter's on the same level as guys like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan with the way that they go out and fucking compete. Tom Brady. Saquon don't have that, dude. He doesn't have that. He's about money. He should just be fucking hanging out doing this shit on
What
the
I'm
fucking sidelines. All
What
right?
I'm telling
Like,
you
that's
is
all it
crazy,
is
he's
to
in
him,
Philly.
bro.
He's
Let
in
me
Philly
tell you this much right now.
a
How about
lot
this?
despite
Your
you,
boy Barkley, I
specifically.
guarantee you this. Your boy Barkley, if they gave him $20 million or a chance to win 2 Super Bowls, he'd walk out with 2 Super Bowl rings and not that $20 million. He'd choose the $20 million all day, every day.
Are you
In a
sure
small
about this,
fucking room
Jules?
Where he's not doing that
you win
shit
2
in
Super
front
Bowls,
in
bro.
person,
You
where
have
people can
you
put
got
that shit on
legacy
his
money
face.
now.
If he was able to
You're
sign
making money
like
for
a
the rest of
fucking
your life. That
closed-circuit
$20 million
ballot,
means nothing.
that dude would do that.
Look how much
shit,
money
bro.
Eli Manning still makes off the field
20
Yeah,
because he
million.
won 2 Super Bowls.
That's
He
my
didn't win those.
point.
He didn't win those 2
You
Super
walk
Bowls.
away from your
Eli
team for
Manning is
$2
only
million,
making money off the
bro.
fact that
You
his
a
last name is
bitch.
Manning.
Yeah, but
There's probably
Eli's
not.
the quarterback, though. It's a little different. And he's with
Yeah.
the Manning family. It's a little different.
And the dude's what, 26, 27? You don't, and he's worth 25 million right now. Now he's get this new deal where he's gonna make at least another 36 million, right? You know, after taxes, whatever the fuck, his net worth's going up. There's no question about it. What, you don't think he's articulate of a guy that once he retires, he's not gonna get a job somewhere? Shit, they gave him
That's
a
not
Reese
the point.
Jones Drew a fucking job.
That's
You
what
don't
I'm
think
saying. That's why
Barkley
he's
can
in Philly.
fucking do
It's
that shit?
not.
That guy sucks.
It's
I'm
half
just
the reason
saying, right?
is despite the Giants fans that fucking
Yeah, but that's the whole point,
raised
dude.
fucking hell for 6 years.
Derek Jeter got booed. That's a fact. And yet he still fucking showed respect. Never left the Yankees and always stayed true. Eli Manning got booed.
A lot easier to do that, bro, when you have 5 rings by year
And Eli
6.
Manning's a diehard Giant.
You're talking a whole
Frank
different
Hand went
ballgame,
through
dude.
shit. Tiki went through shit. They've all gone through shit. It's called playing in fucking New York, dude. Deal with it.
Yeah,
You're
it's
gonna
New
get
York.
criticized. Don't if you're a little pussy like that, don't go to Philly.
Not disagreeing with you there.
That was.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you the reason why he's in Philly is to say fuck you. To
Yeah,
Giants fans that
but
hate
that's
him.
the point,
That's it.
John.
I
That's the
think
point.
I don't think so.
That's the
I think he just
point.
wants to be
I think so.
closer to home.
I think he wanted to
I'd
get
say the
paid.
little mama's
I think
boy
he
is
wanted to
getting
get
home
paid.
now.
He's got PJ money, bro.
Maybe
Nothing's
he
not close
wanted
to
Philly
home.
cheesesteaks.
He's got private jet money. He will be home whenever he needs to be home. That's not
That's
a thing.
the problem.
I think he went for
That's
the
thing,
money.
dude.
I think he went for the
Yeah.
money.
Point
I think
is,
he went for the
did
money,
not want-
But
he
it was,
didn't want to go
you
to
gotta think,
Texas.
if Philly was willing to give him 13 and change, unless Philly was just trying to give a big fuck you to the Giants, which is there is probably a few $100,000 in there for that reason. I think there's probably another team out there that would have been closer enough where if he felt inclined to want to protect his Giants legacy, not burn to the ground, he could have went somewhere else, sacrificed a few $100,000 somewhere, and would have been done with it. And just went to fucking LA, went to fucking
What was
Houston, like you
Houston's
said.
offer? Jules,
all those
what was
things are
Houston's
plausible.
offer?
I don't
What was
remember the
Houston's
guaranteed money, but it was higher. It was reported.
You sure
that it
about
was
that?
higher.
I thought Philly blew
Guaranteed
everybody out the
money was
water.
reported higher. I think overall with incentives,
It's a better story.
Philly's
I don't care about
contract
shit.
ends up being better. But he's got to hit these incentives then, right? So that like the dude's gonna break his
He hit
fucking
one
toenail.
last year with the Giants. Now one incentive he hit
Bro,
last
this dude's
year.
gonna break his toenail and he's gonna fucking be out 3 weeks. Fucking.
We
during
didn't have a
the season.
quarterback
You know what I'm
the
saying? Like,
entire season. We had a terrible offensive line. It's just like that's out of his control. That's why it's hard to hold stats against a guy like that, man.
And you know what? I guarantee you there's going to be probably some stupid incentive in his contract that if he scores 10 touchdowns, he gets extra money. And Jalen Hurts will never let him do that. So there goes that incentive out the window, you fucking loser.
One of the incentives is if he gets under 2 touchdowns, he's come back to the Giants. We might get him
We don't
back.
want him. We don't want him.
Yeah, I don't want him anymore, bro.
I know,
Listen,
I
this
know.
shit should have happened
Singletary's
last
good
year.
enough
It should
with
have
somebody
fucking
else.
happened last year.
They-
It would have
all right.
been great is if Barkley would have went there last year instead of DeAndre Swift. That would have been fucking even better. And then watch that Philly team collapse like they did with Barkley there.
All right.
Oh,
I think
man, I would have fucking loved life.
we're missing out on something. Look at what Jalen Hurts has. This fucking guy just whatever he did in the past life, he has one of the best if not the best offense line. He's got probably the best running back now, besides McCaffrey. He's got wide receivers up the ass,
all over the place.
a
Tight
great
ends.
defense. I mean, it's like guys, when we play basketball at the park and you put me on the team, whoever you guys surrounded me to, we're gonna win. Like, you know what I mean? It was crazy. Like the amount of all-stars this fucking clown gets. It's
Just give Trey to the ball. Just give Trey to the ball.
Just give me the rock. We win it. We win it. We're on to the next game.
One thing though, one thing's got to be looked at, especially with the way we talk about this offensive line. They lost a key fucking component to that offensive line this year. Jason Kelce retired. You know, like
he might come back.
He might have the next man up. The guy might be better, younger, something like that. Who knows? But he doesn't bring that same veteran leadership that Kelce did. That guy was a beast right there.
He was the heart of that fucking locker room.
Part of that old line. Like it's that's not just someone who just like, oh, okay, replace. No. And you know what? He probably could have played another season too. Like he wasn't blocked or nothing.
You want to know something that you might not know about, like Kelce? He has a brother that's dating Taylor Swift. I don't know if people knew this, but it's out there.
That's crazy. I can't believe that this story missed me.
Yeah, just so you guys know.
What are they dating for?
I don't know. I mean, you probably didn't hear it.
Appearances anywhere?
Only the underground. It's very popular in the underground.
Yo, all I'm gonna say is this. Yo, Vin, week 8, under over. Do you think it happens before or after that AJ Brown wants to punch Saquon Barkley in the face because he got more catches than he did in the game?
Well, it's interesting you say that AJ Brown, because last year I saw him like yelling at Jalen Hurts and yelling in the huddle about the ball. It was like week 4, and I was in the urinal at my job, and there's this Philly fan who doesn't say shit. He's just got a nasty smile to him. I'm like, fuck him. I'm like, your team is going down. And that's exactly what happened. AJ Brown from week 3 with that argument with Jalen Hurts, the team went to shit after that. Is that like Trader said, that roster is stacked. It's just that guy Roseman has built a really nice team, and the turnover he keeps it fresh. He does. Next man up. I hate that.
They're gonna build a football team, dude. That's why.
Team.
It sucks that they're in our fucking division, bro.
And look at this.
They're tough, man. It's a good team.
Vin, look at this. Now you're going to have probably in the NFC Championship game next year, if the Giants somehow don't make it, it's going to be probably Philly against San Fran. And guess what? The top 2 running backs in the league. I thought running backs didn't matter in the NFL.
Matter.
So, like,
I'll say this to you, Trader.
Tell me. Try to convince me.
I think a running back like a Saquon or Christian McCaffrey, they're like the cherry on top. They're the final piece to a team that's like got everything else. You know what I mean? So like the Buffalo Bills, I feel like the Bills have been fucking around too much. Like, go get yourself a running back. You know what I mean? Get yourself a run game, a feature back. I personally like committee. It's the way we won our championships, the last couple of championships with Bradshaw and Jacobs, like we mentioned before. I think it brings it keeps your the guys fresh. It keeps them healthy. I don't like a feature back.
Competitive, bro.
Yeah, I like it. I like the idea. Like, you could do so many different things. You throw Wandale back there in the backfield too.
Yes.
Dable is creative. Let Dable like create. I think with 2 running backs back there, you could do some crazy stuff. And I feel like with Saquon, he was the home run hitter. He wasn't really getting those dirt yards, especially with the running lanes not being there. Saquon did well in the second half as the game wore on. But I don't know.
Defense got tired.
Yeah, but I felt like feeding the ball to Saquon, everybody kind of stacked the box. We didn't really have anything on the outside. We were predictable. Even with Dable, I feel like we're wasting it. Like, let's do something different. With Saquon, it didn't work. It just didn't work. And if we're in a rebuild, Saquon is it makes sense for Philly. Doesn't make sense for a team like us. You know, he just doesn't.
Okay, I get it.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Even with Barkley going there, they're still not better than Detroit. Detroit is my fucking team to root for this coming season from, outside of the Giants, of course. But like that's a team I'm getting behind. Gibbs is going to be in his second year. Gibbs might already be a better version than Barkley already. Okay. And the kid's younger and fresher, and he's got David Montgomery to fucking spell him. So you watch. Right. That you want to talk about running backs, right, Mike? There you go. There's a better fucking running back than fucking Saquon.
Their coach worries me though.
Yeah, he's a little too crazy. That's the reason why they fucking lost to San Fran.
Yeah.
He's a gambler.
Maybe he tightens up a little bit. He learned his lesson. We'll see.
My man's like, let's go for 2 again. Fuck it. Who cares?
Like, oh, damn.
Like, yo, I got the over.
Bro. Fucking, we gonna put that shit back up by 17 points. You don't need that.
He's like, if we convert a 2-point conversion, I can win 10,000 right now. All right, so I think I think we're over this Barkley talk.
Yeah.
Hopefully it moves on. This way I don't have to get
Hopefully
crazy.
Devin Singletary sports 26 this year. Let's go.
Yes, let's go, baby.
I just don't want no more Jules
Really
text
just take a
messages.
shit on him. Like, we got a different 26. Fuck you, Barkley.
No more Jules text messages. How fucking he hates Barkley. All right, so guys, talking about Singletary, we Ben, you brought him up before. I would like to see him. I think I seen on Twitter like some guy thought about maybe him and a guy like Dalvin Cook, sort of like to change the pace. I'm kind of with that. I think Dalvin Cook got some legs left in him. I just don't think they got the ball, though. He never really got the ball last year. I wouldn't mind that, but I do like Singletary sliding in. I had him in a couple fantasy leagues. He played well in Houston last year, and he was always decent in Buffalo, but they always kept wanting to replace him for some reason. But now we got him, and, hopefully we'll talk about the draft later, but I think that might be an option at the draft, too.
He also basically took the job away from Dameon Pierce because I drafted Dameon Pierce. You know? Singletary's just this guy. Yeah, and I saw a stat that he has the same amount of yards in his career as Saquon. Like, I think they have the same amount of yards, and he's got more games than Saquon because he doesn't really get hurt. But I don't know. I think the Singletary signing was good. It was a good move for Shane. I think he's been good. He's durable. He can catch the ball. He can block. He's underrated. I don't think he's a bell cow. I don't think you could do that to him. But I think with a committee, I think we'll be. I don't think our run game is going to suffer like a lot of casual Giant fans think it's going to suffer. I really think our run game will be fine.
Well, that's because we signed a couple offensive linemen too. Like, we got to talk about them, and that's going to fucking help, obviously.
Well, hold on. One quick nod though, because there was another huge person that left and had a big signing, and we tried to match him, we just couldn't. And that was fucking Xavier and fucking McKinney, right? And he left with class. He got that crazy, ridiculous offer from the Packers, went back to the Giants and was like, look, if you can match this, I'll stay. And the Giants were like, yo, dude, that's an outrageous contract. We can't afford it this year. Good luck to you. And he was like, okay, cool. And parted ways, left a nice tweet, thanked the fans, thanked the team, thanked the organization, and left with fucking class and went to the Packers. That's the fucking way you leave. I got no hate for McKinney. And I love McKinney.
I know you
I was fucking screaming on top of the fucking hills to draft him in round 2 that draft night, right?
Yeah, you were.
Like, dude, I love that guy. So to see a guy leave like that, what are we going to do? He's going to be one of the highest paid safeties in the league. Like, we just can't do that right now, unfortunately.
You want to hear
that's a guy that could come back at some point. You know what I mean? But like, you leave like that, and there's all respect and love for you. You leave the way Barkley did, where he's posting shit on his Instagram, where his jersey changes from the fucking Giants.
Oh, it's disgusting.
The fucking Eagles green. Oh, come on, bro. That's a dude that's been spoiled and coddled his whole fucking life, and he's throwing a fucking little temper tantrum.
Man, you're still going at fucking Barkley. Make it easy. If somebody just pees on Barkley's blue jersey, yellow and blue makes green. So that's the Philadelphia Eagles color. And to keep it more classy, I hope McKinney runs over his other fucking hand in fucking Green Bay.
Right? You see, you give hate to McKinney, but not Barkley, right? I thought you said your dog's name was Charles Barkley now, okay?
Your negativity is running off on me, man. I'm catching it. Whatever you bring it, I'm catching it. All right, so that's like, what do you guys think about like the offensive line? John, what do you think about the two signings, Runyon and Illuminator?
Is that how you say the guy's name? I have no fucking idea how to say his name.
It sounds pretty close. I'll say it like that.
I like the way I said it.
At this point, I've seen enough guys get cycled in and out of those 5 offensive line spots where I got to see it to believe it. It's one thing to sign a big name to a nice contract like Nate Solder coming out of that fucking in that first Gettleman year and have a need a left tackle and. He won 3 rings with Tom Brady. He's good enough for Tom Brady. He's good enough for us. That whole, I seen enough. Like let's see them fucking go out there, open up lanes, protect the quarterback, let our offense fucking run. If that happens, God bless Joe Shane. If it doesn't, we're gonna be sitting here next year saying, whatever.
I would like to see this as a 5 starting offensive lineman. Obviously, Andrew Thomas, right, left tackle, still the Rook. At center, we all know him. Then right guard, I kind of want to see Runyon at right guard. I want to see Illuminator at right tackle, and I want to see Evan Neal at left guard. I want to see Evan Neal back on that side that he played college with and put him next to Andrew Thomas, probably the best tackle in the league. Put them near each other. I want that line to be the line, and I want to be successful. That's my hope and pray.
I mean,
Brandon, what about Bredesen?
He hasn't signed yet.
Nah, right? So you want him coming in from you want him coming off if we do re-sign him in Pew, I would think we're probably gonna re-sign. You want
wouldn't
them
mind.
as depth pieces.
Don't forget, we got the rookies from last year, the Easy E, you know what I mean? And McCathin. So we got like guys that are coming back. Remember, we had 8 or 9 offensive linemen that just dropped dead last year. It was fucking insane last year.
Yeah, in the first 8 weeks, we had like nine injuries, I think it was. I think I remember saying that on the pod.
No, listen, I'm with John on this, though, because we have brought in veterans in the past, and it flopped. Do I think Runyon's better? Do I think he has a more of a pedigree in him, or pedigree rather in him? Yeah.
Kevin Zeitler.
Yeah, and look, and as far as this guy, Illuminati, whatever the fuck we gonna call him, I'm gonna call him Illuminati.
Illuminati.
Right. Our current offensive line coach was from the Raiders. This guy's from the Raiders. So it might have been him. He might have been the one that was banging the drum and was like, yo, we need to get this guy in here. He could help us out tremendously, even if it's just maybe, like taking someone like Neil under his wing and teaching him how to play tackle a little bit better. You know what I mean? Where you learn from a player and a coach. Who knows, right? Like, so I think that the moves were good. They made me feel better, especially with Singletary coming in. And then, of course, the one that we're saving for the end here with the linebacker and the pass rusher edge, whatever the fuck you want to classify him as. But, like those things, the whole thing happened with Saquon. That passed, then McKinney left with class. And it was like as soon as McKinney left, all these other guys came in. I mean, Illuminati over here, this guy has been texting and tweeting out. He's so happy to be on the Giants. He can't wait to fucking see the Garden. He's going to do that. Fucking awesome, bro. That's the type of shit you want to see. You want a guy coming in with that much enthusiasm. I mean, shit, when we were pulling guys off the couch last year, everybody was fucking jumping for crazy that they were happy to come to the Giants. Well, this dude is happy he got fucking traded. I mean, come on, it's like
Jules, it was really, it was really me. I hacked his account. It's just me fucking talking all excited about the Giants.
Yeah, that's PR team, anyways.
God bless you. Look, guys, you want to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll get into what Jules mentioned, the trade.
The trade.
So, listen, we'll be right back on the Big Blue Offensive Podcast. All right, we're back on the BBO NYG Podcast. I'm Mike. It's Jules. It's John. Special guest Vin back in the building. So, John Burns, the trade from Carolina. We got Brian Burns go opposite Kate Hibbs for a pass rush.
It's an exciting fucking move, man. A lot of Giants fans wanted him in his draft year. I don't even remember what year it is at this point. Fucking talking about these drafts every year. But it's an exciting move. I really liked Ojulari. I know Jules, we would sing his name literally. I don't know what this means for him. I know he's not going to see the field as much, but I thought he was a promising fucking player, bro. He broke the rookie sack record for the Giants, and now he's like relegated to a backup spot. But you can't not be excited to have one of the best young pass rushers in the league on your team now. And he signed for 5 years, so you're going to be able to have KT and him rushing the quarterback together for a handful of years together. That's what you want.
What did we give up for him, Jules? It was like just basically Leonard Williams, right?
Second and a fifth.
And it was just basically what we got for Leonard Williams.
Basically,
right?
Yeah, basically.
That's
a little bit higher of a second round pick, but not by much.
That's a pretty fucking solid fucking return, dude. I mean, we had to pay him, which, $30 million a year is $30 million a year on a salary cap sport. That means something. But to take a Leonard Williams that 4 years after he was traded, still got a second and a fifth, and turn that into a young fucking star. That's positive. That's definitely a positive check mark for Joe Shane as far as like the optics of the move is concerned. And getting it done hours after Saquon fucking left was, I don't think, any accident at all.
Cheered me right up.
Well, I mean, the crazy thing with that is that the money that was spent or that the other guys signed for is pretty much around $30 million a year. So we basically let McKinney and Saquon walk to bring in this guy. I know that's just something to sort of keep in mind there.
If he's a 15 sack guy, bro, and he disrupt plays, that's worth it.
Yeah,
I'll even admit 15,
but I
as a fucking Saquon fucking, I don't even know what to call myself, but
I mean, what it's really supposed to do is this should enhance Thibs, right? Because now
whole defensive
Thibodeau can
line to the
actually
quarterback.
be he's not just a singled out guy. I mean, look, his game, there's no hiding it, stepped up when Ojolari was 100% healthy. We saw better Thibs on the field. Well, now you got a guy that's probably better than Ojolari out there, and now he's going to line up opposite of Thibs. I mean, it's crazy. Currently, you know, like I look up the draft, and we'll get into a little bit more of that talk later, but you know, you take Walter Football, they're pretty well known for picking a lot of things. They got that Josh Allen draft class pretty to the T back in the day, and that kind of put them on the map. They were saying like fuck Josh Rosen, all that kind of shit during that draft. But anyhow, the guy Dallas Turner is supposed to be one of the big names that's on defense that's coming in this year's draft out of Alabama. He'll probably be the first pass rusher taken off the board. At least that's what the prediction is currently. And his NFL comparison is Brian Burns. So I mean, like you know, instead of taking the risk factor, you basically took the risk factor out of the fucking equation, gave up your second round pick, and it was like we got this elite pass rusher as a second round pick. Yeah, he's going to cost us a lot more than a rookie contract, but now you're putting this guy into the mix. I think it's a slam dunk for home run for the Giants. Look, I think Ojolari now can literally just kind of rotate and give these guys blows and come in for a couple of series here, a couple of series there. Shit, they might even do a couple of different things where all three of them on the field at the same time.
NASCAR package.
Like on a passing down.
NASCAR package, right? Remember that?
Bags, baby.
You know, so like that just makes us better. So I'm pumped about this. It's crazy. I can't believe we got this dude. I just hope he's everything that he's on paper to be.
If I could make a few points about this. First, I love that we finally have a GM because I had to sit through my formative years with Jerry Reese and David Gettleman, who I'm not a fan of. Joe Shane seems to have the philosophy that I want a Giants GM to have, and that is build a football team from inside out. He has signed long-term Andrew Thomas, our best player, and Dexter Lawrence, our second best player. You know what I mean? So those two guys are long-term. Now he put this money into Brian Burns with a trade. Now, like we said before, the trade was like a Leonard Williams trade with you know, the second and the fifth. And by bringing in Burns, it is a risk because it is a lot of money. It's like 147 mil for 5 years, which can get restructured and stuff as we get through the years. But the kid is 26. You know, he's at the prime of his career. He's durable. If you look at all the free agents we signed, from those two guards to Singletary to Burns, they all have one thing in common. They're young as well as they're really durable. They've got games that they play. They don't really take games off. They haven't shown injury. Burns is super athletic. He's super fast. He really is a disruptor. I like him to, you know, I've been watching tape on him since yesterday. I like him to, you know, have a little bit more moves in his repertoire. Is he elite? Like, is Thibodeau elite? I don't think so. Not, you know, is he worth the second highest pass rusher in the game behind Nick Bosa? Probably not. But we're paying to see what he can do. And I'm sorry, Aziz, you take a back seat because your legs are made of paper mache. I love you, but you just can't stay on the field. And we need a pass rush. And I love that Shane is putting money in the pass rush. I don't care what we do in the secondary. Yo, look at our top three we're forgetting. We have Dexter Lawrence as your nose tackle, right in the middle there, who can get after the quarterback. You got Tibbs on one side, and then I just hope he keeps his mouth shut. You got Burns on the other, who might just be the leader there. You got Bobby O right behind them. McFadden had a really good year in a lot of spots last year. Yeah, I really like that front five right there. If they're going, I think they're going to stick to a 3-4 just because they like Dexter as the nose. I think just to play to his style. So I think the new defensive coordinator is going to stay to a 3-4. But you know, and then the secondary worries me a little bit. We talked in the group chat before. Worries a little bit with the corner. I think we have Deontay Banks on one side, and he'll get better as the year, you know, second year.
He's legit.
Lose Adoree, I guess. We're not going to re-sign Adoree, right? So I would like another corner on the other side there. Maybe we'll pick it up through the draft. I'd rather the corner than the safety. I think this defense, if healthy, has a lot of good spots. I think Burns changes us big time in a very positive way. And he deserved the money.
Don't forget Jordan Riley too. Like he
Right.
was coming in,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
making plays too out of nowhere. Like
We
who the
lost
fuck is he?
Ashawn Robinson. I don't know if you guys saw. We lost Ashawn
Yeah.
Robinson today.
Yeah, but I think Riley's the guy that slides in there and plays his spot, man. He looked
He was
impressive
7th
down
round,
the
right?
stretch.
We got him in the 7th round.
I believe so. I think it was
Yeah.
late. Yeah, you're right.
What happened with Hawkins? Trey Hawkins, the fifth round pick.
Yeah,
that they
he got
were
burnt a couple times
Yeah.
early last year.
Yeah.
And then we didn't really see him
What
play
do you
much.
expect?
Yeah.
Kid's not supposed to be on the field that early.
Great camp, though. He had an awesome camp.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I like him. I think that he's got potential to be a solid. I mean, I don't think he's going to be fucking on all pro teams or anything, but I think he could be a solid player with a good pass rush that we have on paper now. It's just taking some pressure off of him.
Well,
We didn't have a good pass rush last year, and we didn't get burned too bad.
Well, speaking
The
like
secondary.
the secondary, we got we signed Jalen Mills, from I think he played New England last year, but he was normally in Philly for a minute. So we got him to, probably as a depth piece in the secondary, maybe behind like Belton and
The kid,
Pinnock.
Pinnock.
That was Joe Shane's answer for Saquon going to Philly, was to get him to come from Philly.
Except that he was in New England for like 4 seasons. But yeah, other than that,
He should wear number 26. Anybody's gonna wear 26. Is
Once an eagle, always an eagle, right?
I
Get out of
guess that's
He's
what
got
you're
that
saying.
stink on you.
I mean, listen, Mills is definitely a good depth add. I like it. You know what? Look, it'll keep that safety position relevant. I think. You know what I mean? I know you were tweeting out there, Mike, that you thought Poyer was going to come in, and he went and
I was
signed with
hoping.
the Dolphins, bro. But he's also going to be 33. So
I know
he's seen some better days.
you don't
for sure,
fit. You don't really fit the Giants.
Nah, no way. Not the way that this team is. Mills is like 29, I think. And he's like the oldest guy we signed so far. I mean,
Yeah.
just to kind of go piggyback on what fucking Vin was saying. So, I mean, you got to kind of keep that in mind for sure.
Well, that's good. Pretty much wraps those guys up. But we can't let a podcast go without
Whoa,
talking
wait.
QB.
You guys, okay, all right.
If I could make one last point, I want to make one last point. I think
Ben.
yesterday, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I think we can all agree that the Giants won the day. I know I didn't expect us to spend over $200 million yesterday, but
Me either.
I think the Giants won the day. We started the day losing McKinney and Saquon, and a lot of Giant fans were pissed off about that. But as the day went on, we saw it all happened in like an hour and a half. It was crazy.
Yeah, fuck with my head.
The 2 linemen. We brought back our gunner. I can't even say the guy's last name.
It's not a point in trying.
Yeah, and then the Brian Burns trade, I thought was masterful. Like, I think the Panthers are probably the dumbest organization alive. They told the Rams to kick rocks when they were giving up 2 first-rounders and a second-rounder for Brian Burns last year, only to give us for a second and a fifth-rounder. Yeah, and on top of that, they get rid of McCaffrey for not enough things. They got rid of DJ Moore in the trade for Bryce Young. I think Carolina's a mess. Let's take them for everything they're worth.
They were offered 2 first plus.
Rams.
Yeah. This is right down Jules' conspiracy alley. Like, he probably thinks it's all set up by the NFL to get the Giants finally better. Yeah,
it would be the most Giants thing possible for them to have, quote unquote, this terrible offseason, not knowing what's going on quarterback, for them to go win 12 games next year if I can win a playoff game or two. That'd be the most
Shane
Giants.
did a great job yesterday. Masterful.
And one other name that we left off that's not a quarterback is Isaiah McKenzie.
Oh,
He's
Buffalo.
a decent special teams return guy. So you know what? Like he was just saying about Shane going out there and getting shit done. He hit every aspect of the game. He made sure he got some offense in there for the line. He got some defense there for the line. And then he went out and got a special teams guy signed. And signed the guy that we had too in Gunner and our Gunner. So he went out and took care of all the aspects of the game. And he actually went out and signed the fucking quarterback. I mean,
the future starter.
So I have a question. With what they did yesterday being a surprise to the 4 of us, plus whoever else is listening, I'm sure. I can't imagine as many Giants fans.
Tons of other fans.
Yeah, even the most optimistic of fans like me and Mike, we didn't see that shit coming. What does it tell you about what they may feel about Daniel Jones' chances of success with his team going forward? Do you make a $200 million day on a quarterback that you have 1 foot out the door already and not have any inclination of having somebody who can handle an NFL team in New York this season and the next season? It's very surprising. I think it's a good sign for Daniel Jones that they're willing to make this kind of swing this offseason. Let Saquon go and plus spending all his money. This is a pretty fucking historic offseason from that standpoint, just like, the shit going on. So I think that's pretty good deal for Daniel Jones.
Drew Lock ain't gonna fucking take over as a starting quarterback. That's for sure. I mean,
I bet
we all see Drew Lock play. He's like the little white rapper. I remember he was on the bench, never just rapping by himself.
No.
He did a Jeezy rap.
I'm like, what do you do? He's putting his like hands over shit like on the bench. I'm like, what are you doing,
That's
man?
terrible. I hate him.
You know, this is gonna be my starting quarterback for the New York Giants. I don't think so, man. This guy's a bench piece. They're probably gonna end up drafting a quarterback in the second round, like where they trade up like late in the first to pick somebody. Hopefully Bo Nix, which I like. But that ain't moving the needle for me. This Drew Lock signing. You know what I mean? That's why I believe, John, you're right. Dan Jones is coming back, and it's gonna be. And if he stays healthy behind a good offensive line, and they draft a young quarterback to groom, and we have two good quarterbacks, I'm fine with that. I'm fine.
Remember, if you have two quarterbacks, you have zero quarterbacks.
It's like having two bitches.
I heard that Tommy Cutlet's agent and Drew Lock are going to have a rap battle on the field.
Oh my god!
Somebody's gonna be fucking
halftime preseason.
Listen, I don't
Hoffa.
know what to think of this, because initially my initial thoughts were, oh my god, they went out and wasted another $5 million on Drew Lock, brought him in. Why are we drafting a quarterback at 6, or why are we trading up to get a different quarterback? And I still kind of stand by that, but I could see it from a different perspective, because technically that $45 million that's going towards Locke and Jones will not be there in 2025 if we get rid of him. Locke is a 1-year deal, and Jones could be let out of his contract after this year. So literally that 45 fucking million gets wiped. Not that we're going to completely replace it with a fucking quarterback, but if you do bring in if you do go out and get that first round quarterback, you're talking about adding about another $9 million to the salary cap, which would put around $54 million towards the quarterback position for 3 quarterbacks that have all uncertainty around them. I don't know if you do that. And that's kind of where, I'm going to kind of like lead us into the whole draft talk thing here, because that's the picture now. I don't know what we're going to do with this deal. Like, my thoughts are that 3 quarterbacks still go in the top 4 picks. It's still going to happen. I still believe it. I still think it's going to happen. I just don't know if it's going to be the 3 that we think it's going to be. See, I don't want the Giants to be sitting there at 6 and J.J. McCarthy's all of a sudden on our fucking pick, because then this whole offseason and all this signing, to me, just goes to shit. You just fucking wasted a first-round pick on J.J. McCarthy. Like, stop. That's Mac Jones 2.0, man.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But if Drake May falls, I don't know. You know what I mean?
You got to go wide receiver, Jules. Get a playmaker. Somebody put points on the board. Get them.
Yeah, bro, it's been long enough. How much of an impact did a playmaker have when we had Odell Beckham? How much of a playmaker did it have when we had Brandon Jacobs and fucking Ahmad Bradshaw back there? When you have playmakers that make plays, you fucking win games.
All right.
You cashed out fucking your salary cap now. So like you swung big this offseason. Like, you gotta back that up, fucking continuing to plug holes.
Ben, who do you want at 6?
All right. The way I'm going to mock it, and you guys could tell me up till 6. Let's not take trades into account, because I can't foresee that. So let's say it goes Caleb to the Bears, Drake May to the Commanders, and then Jalen Daniels to New England. I don't think
that goes in reverse, but whatever.
I don't think those 3 teams are trading out of those picks. I think they want those quarterbacks, or whichever way you want to look at it. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. goes to Arizona. I think that's a done deal. I think they already kind of had a gentleman's agreement. That's happening. The draft starts with the Chargers, I think. The Chargers could go a couple different ways. I doubt they go wide receiver. They just drafted one last year, and they have Keenan Allen, who's still older but had a productive year. Mike Williams is still good. He gets hurt a lot, but he's still good. Josh Palmer. I feel like they're flush at wide receiver. I don't think they go tackle. I really think, and call me crazy, I think they go after the tight end. They go after the Georgia tight end, and they grab him.
Brock Bowers. That's my wild card, Ben.
I think he goes to the Chargers because they had Antonio Gates. It's another option for Herbert. Maybe Harbaugh likes that as a security for Herbert, because he'll be healthy, whatever. I think they go there. So now the Giants, I think, will go best player available. Now, who are our 3 best players, or 4? You've got You could go wide receiver with Neighbors, could be a true number one. And you got that Rome with Dunze kid. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. He's big, that kid, and he led the lead. You know, he led college in yards, and the kid is huge. Then you could go quarterback. I think JJ McCarthy's the best of the remaining three, but I don't know because I don't watch that much college like that. So you guys would know better than that. So we probably go McCarthy. I doubt the Giants will go Penix or Nix over McCarthy. I really don't. I don't think they pull that. And then the third option would be, which is unsexy to many of us, but I love Joe Wool. Fucking grab the left tackle, gold jacket guy. You put him on the right side. And let's go. You kick Evan Neal's ass inside, and then you go from there and just build that line. Like finish building that line the right way. So you could go with the best left tackle. You go with the second best wide receiver.
It's appealing.
Or you could go with a quarterback, which is the most important of the three positions, but just a second tier of a quarterback. I personally think they'll go safe with this draft. They'll go Malik Neighbors if he's there. If he's there, they'll go Neighbors. And
That's what I want.
And I'm usually not okay with wide receiver that high, but in this draft, if it falls the way I'm thinking, I'm okay with it this year because he'll open things up. If he draws a double team, Jalen Hyatt runs the vertical routes, Wandale runs the underneath routes. Give Daniel Jones a shot here in trying to assemble an 8-9 win playoff team. Let's sneak in the playoffs and sneak in another couple of playoff wins. You know what I mean? Like, let's save Dable's job. Let's save Shane's job. I think to go quarterback there, I won't blame them if they do.
Dude.
I don't know, but I
wouldn't
don't know.
mind. I wouldn't mind that
I think,
offensive
like
line.
you said before, if you trade back into the first round somehow, you know, maybe we could get a quarterback there, one of the lesser three. It sucks that we walk away from this draft without a quarterback, which is kind of a travesty, though.
What if they trade back from 6? Have a team that move up that wants a JJ McCarthy or some shit. Did you guys ever think of that? Jules?
I was getting ready to say that, Mike. You just threw that question out there.
The Vikings.
I had a whole fucking thing set up on that one. What if at that time they, let's say Neighbors does go to the Chargers, Vin, because you're kind of right. Like the draft starts there. And look, there's been plenty of teams that have drafted multiple quarterbacks in a row. I mean, you take Detroit when they did Calvin Johnson, they took Mike Williams. They literally took 3 wide receivers in the first round with top 5 picks 3 years in a row.
Yeah, right? They did not go. I don't think they're done.
All right, and let's not forget. They had Cincinnati had T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, and then they went out and drafted Jamar Chase, right? And everybody wasn't sure if they were going to do it, but then they pulled the trigger and pulled him in a year after they got Burrow, right? So, like literally, like teams do it, right? And one of the points that was with Herbert was that they want to get him more weapons. I mean, Keenan Allen's older, Mike Williams is hurt all the fucking time, and the kid Quentin Johnson didn't really work out as expected. So, like taking a receiver there is not crazy. So maybe they do grab Malik Neighbors at 5. And all of a sudden, here comes the Denver Broncos knocking on your door to trade up, right? And maybe the Giants trade back. Maybe they get a second round pick with that move there, and they get their second round pick back, right? So now they got 2 again, and they just go back to what, the 11th spot? I think the Denver's at, or 12, something like that.
Well, how far are you willing to go down, Jules? Because don't you still want a top blue chip player?
Well, this is my point. At that point in time, if we're really putting pieces together on defense, why don't we go out and grab a Cooper DeJean or fucking Nate Wiggins? And there goes our fucking number 2 corner. Lock that shit up because both them dudes are fucking nasty. All right. That kid, Cooper DeJean, he is fucking nasty. He is Jason Sehorn 2.0, but fucking quicker and better. All right. Like that kid is that fucking good. And you bring him in, and all of a sudden, that defense looks fucking good. Okay. And you know what? We built up. Fine. We don't have a quarterback. I get it. Everybody's going to fucking pull their hair out till we get a fucking quarterback.
We have Daniel Jones, you blasphemous motherfucker.
Exactly. Of course.
Boo. Boo this man.
Oh, damn.
Get out the same asylum.
That's a scenario that won't happen. But I'm telling you, something crazy like that took place.
I would like that.
I wouldn't hate it.
Me neither. The more you talk about it, Jules, the more I like it.
You know what I'm saying? Especially the moves we made. You literally brought in another pass rush, and you go and get arguably the best corner in the draft.
Dude,
and another draft where
I'm sorry, I don't like it. I don't like a corner first round for us.
I do like what you said, Ben. Get the tackle. Get an offensive lineman. I kind of like what you said, Ben. I wouldn't mind that.
I like tackle or wide receiver in this spot.
I mean, dude, imagine have a really good offensive line for once.
we're gonna probably end up with Neighbors. I
Imagine.
really, truly believe
Imagine.
we're gonna end up with Neighbors, unless
I like
here's
him.
another unless Atlanta jumps the Chargers and takes Neighbors because they just signed Kirk Cousins
They
and they
need
have
somebody.
a fucking slug with Drake London and fucking Bajan and all
Enough
that
weapons. They have enough
Ooh.
weapons.
shit. Oh,
They got running
but
game.
just think about how
They got a-
I
nasty
wouldn't
that
be
is.
worried about the Vikings jumping anybody. The Vikings need a quarterback.
I mean, they're another
Maybe they'll
one.
trade with us.
Maybe they trade with us, right? Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of possibilities. And what I just don't want to see, I don't want to see us somehow hit the panic button, give up our second round pick, give up next year's second round pick, give up a third round pick, give up a fifth round pick, maybe a player, maybe Ojolari, because I heard that fucking crazy rumor, right?
That's
Two
crazy.
twos, a three, and Ojolari, and move up and go get Jaden Daniels or fucking Drake. I don't want to see that, dude. That would kind of spin me the wrong way because then we're basically saying that O-line is set the way it is, and the weapons that we have are good enough, and this rookie quarterback's going to come in and he's going to fucking save the day. I don't know about
Well, guys, what do you think about this? Say like the Giants, right? They don't go wide receiver. They do beef up the offensive line, like been recommended. Now you have a solid, really good offensive line, right? Young offensive line. Then you got Jones behind it, and if Jones could just have time, then you got Slayton outside wide receiver. They want to put Hyatt in the slot where he's more comfortable, where he played more at Tennessee, which would be fantastic. And then you could move Wan'Dale Robinson wherever the fuck you want him. Like you said before, backfield, on the side, in the slot, on the outside. You could do it all.
Player.
Gadget player, like almost like a Dave Meggett type, like kind of like that back in the day. But I could see him being like that guy. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden, like, holy shit, if our defense is that good and we could put up some fucking more points than 12 points a game like last year, I think we'll be all right. With a decent run game
Mike,
behind a good offensive line.
Just a quick question. Where are you hearing that talk of moving Hyatt to the slot? Because I've heard you mention this a couple of times off air, on air. So
If
where'd you get that from?
If you go on Twitter, Chad Powers at BBOMYG podcast, he knows what he's talking about. This guy. No, actually, I read it a couple of times before. I think, I read it some reputable site like that. That's what they want to do, and it makes sense. I mean, in Tennessee,
listen,
like lights out.
that also kind of sounds as if they're set on going wide receiver.
That's what I mean too. I
Neighbors
know.
and Roma Dunze are not going to be inside guys. And Roma's way too big to be on the inside. He's definitely an outside guy.
You're right.
I mean, that could make sense. Maybe.
We need
tough what to do.
You're not. I guess if you have Slayton and Hyatt outside or whoever.
Wendell even.
We need another wide receiver.
They have
to need another big guy.
They got to go wide receiver. I mean, there is like a nice group that's going to be available in the second round.
Nobody likes the tight end?
I like Brock Bowers.
For us.
I like him for us, yeah. I got to be honest. Danny Jones loves his tight ends.
You think Waller is going to wrap and retire?
Dude, he's like, maybe him and Drew Lock will collab. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Waller is like, he has 1 foot out the door already. He's like, I don't know.
Yo, kick this dude to the curb. He's got to go.
Leave. Leave, man. We already got a guy. You know what I'm saying?
Also, one thing to keep in mind is that this wide receiver draft.
Bellinger. Tight end Bellinger. Daniel Bellinger.
Right. But this wide receiver draft is a lot deeper than you think. You have a guy like Xavier Leggett who can definitely be there in round 2. Would have been a round fucking 1 pick had he not gotten hurt in college and everything else that came around with it. So, I mean, there's guys like that are in this draft.
In the first round.
And he's 6'3", 225, Vince. So you want another big guy that was being hyped to be a first-round pick 2 years ago.
Love size.
That's fucking him right there.
Size matters. I mean, not for me, though. Not for me. They still love
it. I'm just saying, this is a deep wide receiver draft where, look, yes.
And offensive line, too.
And offensive line, too. I love Romo Dunze. I love Neighbors. I love those guys. I would absolutely fucking be ecstatic if they become a Giant, no question. But, listen, it's a deep enough class where you don't have to be forced into any decision-making. And that's why I am also against the Giants trading up. Because I feel like it's a forced issue if we do it. And you know what? Like at worst, we get rid of Jones, we get rid of fucking Drew Lock, and next year they could always bring in a veteran quarterback to get through 2025, and then that 2026 class is probably going to be fucking a good. You know what I'm
Yeah,
trying
but
to
now you're
say?
talking
Like,
about
who cares?
you're talking about new GMs and new coaches and
Yeah.
all that stuff like that.
Possibly. And again,
Yeah,
but that
it could all
that's
go
how
to
everybody
shit
thinks
this
these
year.
days.
There's one thing you're missing though. Like I know everybody said we could cut Jones after next season, but his third season there's still a big cap hit. You know what I mean? So that's why everybody needs to root for him to be good next year.
Yeah,
So
like
you get
that's
a quarterback.
Absolutely.
You have to, so you trade him and get some value for him. You want him to do good
or you just want him to be excellent and use it to the giant quarterback for the
keep
next
him.
12 years.
Right.
Like,
Do
isn't
you
that
guys
the
think he'll be back for
most
week one?
optimal fucking outcome would be to have him be the guy because he's that good? Like if that happens,
I mean, if
wouldn't
you
that
give
make
us
the most
16
sense?
games, 17 games, sure.
Yeah, if
Do
he
you
can
guys
stay
think
healthy.
he'll be back week
Well,
one?
now if he's got an
I hope
offensive
so.
line,
I hope he's
think
available
he's
week
probably
one.
on the Kyler Murray track. He's probably coming back in October. Like he's not even going to start the season as of now. Like
As of
I'm
now,
sorry,
yeah.
he could work out all he wants. He's a good kid. He has a good work ethic, but medically, I don't know if he starts the season. I don't think he'll be there for camp. You know,
I don't know.
Maybe not.
I mean,
Too early to
maybe,
tell right
but
now.
maybe he's not. He's not going to be as aggressive with running the ball, so it's going to hinder his game some.
yeah,
But
he's
again,
forever going to be changed. I feel bad for him, but it is what it
if
is.
the offensive line can be an offensive line, I think the kid is the best chance if he can play to his potential. He's the best chance of us not having to go crazy trying to figure other shit out. Because all those resources, if he's good, if he could be a top 10 quarterback, like he was in 2 years ago when we went to the playoffs, you can use all those resources to build a better team around him, an even better team around him.
But one thing you got to keep in mind, if the emphasis on Daniel Jones this season, how much do you really think he's going to perform? I mean, most guys coming off of an injury like that, quarterback or not, they're not 100% to go. It takes him a while. He might be 100% in November. You know what I'm trying to say? Like late November. Like, what's that going to show? You know what I mean? He comes in for the last, and then let's just say the Giants are in a position where they are out of the playoffs in late November. And that's when he's fully going. Do you shut him down? Do you let him keep going? Dude, it's a situation that I understand a little bit why people are feeling the need to get a quarterback in this draft. I just don't want to trade up for one, and I don't want to fucking settle for JJ McCarthy. I'd rather, if it's down to where, okay, the top three go and that's it, we have no shot at them unless we trade it up, I'd rather try a Bo Nix or Michael Penix in round 2 and take one of those guys.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, if Daniel Jones doesn't start the season, doesn't start until November, chances are we're going to be on the fast track to another top 5, top 6 pick, where you can then next year get maybe the best quarterback in the draft or the second best quarterback in the draft.
Don't even play him.
It's supposed to be a weak draft class though next year. That's what they're all
That's
saying.
this is how they
It's
market
like
this
Kenny
draft,
Pickett's
bro.
draft class.
John, if that's the situation, do you think Shane and Dable survive Mara? Do you think Mara lets him go at that point?
Not after this season.
I think
they have one more season's grace.
I think it's going to depend on how the team responds, how the team plays. If the team is like it was last season, where we're down and out a little bit, but we win games, we fight every game. You know, maybe we got blown out a couple of games and we could just like scratch those off the fucking list. But outside of that, we were in every other game. We were fucking fighting till the end. We won a couple of games that we weren't supposed to. If that's the case and we still haven't gotten the right pieces in place, that's what you got to live with. That's called growing pains. You know what I mean? But if it ends up being a disaster, like the end of the Judge's fucking era, and you're it's second down and you're in fucking quarterback kneel position on your 1 yard line, yeah, that's a problem, dude. You know what I'm saying? And they go by.
And there has been writing on the wall for that situation to take place with the way the Wink Martindale shit went down. Like there's definitely a precedent set that it's an uneasy, not perfectly synergetic fucking front office and coaching staff. So,
but then you know what? There's two ways.
It's a big word you use there, John.
Which one?
Synergetic.
I might have made it up.
I was gonna say there's two ways you can spin that. But one, Wink hasn't signed anywhere. You know, you would think that if Wink was just
Michigan,
that was such a he went to college, right? Sorry, that's what I'm saying. He didn't stay in the NFL, is my point, rather. And
he might have gotten a better deal there.
He would have got a better deal if he was this fucking great defensive coordinator that needed it. He wanted to step away from the NFL in general. That's clear. That's why he went to a team like that, and he's in a big time conference in a big school, and he's going to stay there for a couple seasons, and then he'll
Is
try
he
to
the
come
head coach?
and he'll try to be a head coach. I think that's what his route is going to be, and he's going to do it through college. That's my opinion. We'll see. But the other thing with that is it could go two ways. If it truly is a Dable problem, then I could see maybe again, like you said, Johnny, this year they get the pass, but in 2025, I don't see it being a complete regime change. I see maybe Dable getting fired, Shane staying as the GM, and then them bringing in a whole new coaching staff.
Depends how these players turn out.
Yeah,
Depends
depending how these players turn out. Exactly. You know what I mean? So that there's a couple of things that could like turn out as the year goes on.
If I could say this, I think the Wink thing made Wink look worse than Dable because Wink looked like he was whining and he was planting that stuff. And, Dable was being upfront with him. And then he was like, when he fired his boys, then Wink stormed out. And they couldn't even get in contact with him for 48 hours. I thought Wink acted like a baby bitch. And I love Wink. I would have been more excited.
You must hang out with SayGone.
With Wink Martindale. I think the way Mike Kafka, who I'm not really a big fan of, the way he's been handled makes Dable look bad. How he takes the play calling away from him, gives it back, takes it away. Like that doesn't make Dable look good.
But the combination of both of those things, the potential with
it's on Dable. It's on Dable.
It's just most of the time when there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
So that's what makes it, at least it's something to keep an eye on during the season.
Absolutely. Dable needs to learn from this, and hopefully he does, and he. Hopefully, I like Dable because he's a quarterback whisperer. That's why I like him. I think he could coach any quarterback. He made DeVito something.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he made Daniel Jones something.
So,
Gulak.
there.
Well, I think that's a wrap on this.
We also got to keep. We also got to keep in mind that was his second year head coaching.
Miss you, buddy.
You know what I mean? He is brand new to being a head coach, and he's in the hardest market to do it in. The hardest team in the NFL, hands down, to be the quarterback, the head coach of, is the New York Giants, just because of the media pressure and what goes on over here. So you could say Dallas, but you know what? Fucking Dallas fans fucking are loyal.
Yeah, but you got to deal with Jerry Jones in Dallas. So
you deal with Jerry Jones, but Jerry Jones is at least going to fucking die on a sword for you until he's not. So that's something you could at least give him credit for there.
You got to wonder what Mike McCarthy has on Jerry Jones that can keep him there forever. He's got to have some dirty little cigar.
I think that there's a difference between what the outside world views the characters and teams inside the NFL versus what the inside the NFL sees these characters, these people, and these teams as. I think there's a degree of separation between that. It's not exactly like we don't see the league the way the league sees the league inside the league. I think it's more like maybe a Venn diagram where there's certain things that we're right about, but there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. And Mike McCarthy went to Super Bowls. He's an accomplished coach, so we can make jokes about him because that's what the narrative is outside the league. But inside the league, I think a guy like McCarthy has a lot of respect.
John, you're talking like the movie Inception, the NFL inside the NFL inside the NFL.
The people inside the NFL don't see the NFL the way we see the NFL. Like, it's like looking at a company. If you work inside the company, you see it differently.
Yeah,
we will ask Leonardo DiCaprio what he thinks about that.
I think he's going to say if they're older than 25, you get rid of them.
What was it? If the dreidel kept spinning or something, right? He spun that fucking thing. If it keeps spinning, you're in the dream and you're not.
Yeah, the little fucking dice, whatever.
She keeps spinning. You're inside the NFL. And you know the NFL.
You see it differently. That's what I'm saying. You see how the sausage is made.
All right, Vin. Real quick, before we go, obviously thank you for coming on. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me, guys.
But dude, give us a bold prediction for this fucking season. After all this side and all this craziness, just a straight bold prediction for the New York Giants.
Right now,
2024 season, an early one. We'll have you on in the summer.
Whatever you
want.
We
want an early one that we can put down
before a pre-draft like record or any prediction about anything.
Any bold prediction for this
whatever
season.
you want. Free reign.
Wow.
Before the season, we'll have you on for prediction for the record.
Yeah, of course.
All right, I think Joel's not gonna like this.
Uh-oh.
But I think a bold prediction. We're doing under that theme. I say the Giants somehow they trade either. I say they possibly trade up for a quarterback.
Okay.
Trade for
so
one
the
of those
ball position.
quarterbacks.
Dude, do you want to go as far as saying with who?
Is
Do they
that
go over to the
bold
Bears?
enough, or is that not bold? That's not bold
I mean,
enough.
no, that's crazy
pretty
bold.
bold.
Like, do they
That's
go with
bold.
the Bears? Do they trade with the Bears because the Bears still have
Not with
Fields?
the Bears.
As
No,
of
The
today?
Bears are married to Caleb.
Disgusted.
I think they trade up if they're going to try Washington. You know, because I saw Washington just signed a Mariota. Well, I don't know. They got like 3. They got Howard Mariota. Like they're going to get May too. Like it's crazy to me. I think they trade up with New England's not trading.
Washington ain't
All right,
trading
my
with
bold
us.
prediction will be my bold prediction will be we trade with the Washington Commanders.
Woo!
Wow, at 2. Oof.
Yeah, we go to 2, and we're gonna give up a boatload for it. That's a bold. I don't think this.
That's
is
a bold.
That would be
That's
a bold.
bold.
That
That's
is
bold.
that's you could say bold, but I would say stupid too. Sorry, man. That's
Maybe.
You know,
I'm not the GM. I don't know. I wouldn't do it.
I mean,
but
bottom line,
listen, Dallas and
you
Philly
could
did
see
do it
that
to us,
happening,
so.
some sort of a trade up, huh?
you got to get one of those 3. I would think they're far and away better than the latter 3. And we need a court. We just spelled it out with Daniel Jones. The guy might come back mid-season. It'll take him a while to ramp up. I feel like Shane and Dable are looking at each other like, the hell are we going to do to get out of this situation? They got to come out with a quarterback in this draft. They do.
What about this thought? When you're a GM and you have a position, you're in a position where your job might be on shaky ground, and you're able to convince ownership to draft a quarterback and basically restart your your rebuild in a sense. Would he rather play that card this year, it not work out and be out, or would he rather play that card next year where he can extend his possibility of staying with a team?
That's a lot.
I think
For his own personal longevity. Both of them, Shane and Dable. I think they're probably confident enough in their place to say, let's see what we could do with Daniel Jones this year, and then we can convince ownership that, listen, he wasn't our guy. We played ball with you. Give us our chance to get our guy. We have a good team around him, and let's just see what happens and get another kick at the can for another year or 2 with the team.
You think Mara gives them that sort of assurance? Like I
think he wants to give him that kind of assurance because he doesn't want to have to do another regime change. I think that they absolutely detest having fire coaches and GMs. Then they think it's embarrassing, humiliating. It's a sign. It's a admittance of your own failures, and I don't think they like to do that. So I think that stretch to give more of a benefit of the doubt.
I agree.
Even if it's not warranted.
I think Mara didn't want to fire Judge. I think he wanted to keep Judge. It took him forever. And Judge forced his hand to get fired. Like Judge did everything.
Yeah, he went for it on 3rd and 10. We're gonna fucking quarterback Steve. That was it.
Dude, Mara did not want to fire him, and Judge played with fire, and then he was like, "Fuck it." He was like, "He got fired."
Yeah, Judge was like, "Yeah, you're right, man." Judge was like, "Yeah, just fuck it. I'll do whatever I can." I want to hear Jules' stupid prediction because I got a stupid prediction. Bold.
Oh, no, listen, I thought I already said my bold prediction. My bold prediction was trading back with Denver and the Giants grabbing a corner.
Okay.
Right? Because that's
right. I don't see that
anything about a corner for the Giants, right?
Yeah,
so I'm gonna stick with that. Listen, I would love that kid Cooper DeJean. I've watched a lot of Iowa games over the last couple of seasons. That kid could ball, man. He's fucking good. He's legit that good. He's fast. He can keep up with the receivers. Don't worry about.
We dropped to 11. We dropped to 11 with that scenario.
I think it's 11 to 12. I forget where Denver is currently. I got to double check that, but yeah, it's 11 to 12. And he.
What do you want there? You want best player available at 11 to 12?
Best player available. Or I'm telling you, keep it Cooper DeJean. And I'm probably butchering the last name, but it's called DeJean. I don't fucking know.
I'm thinking mustard every time you say that name.
Yeah, they go. Exactly.
Fucking mustard.
You're like, you want some grape before?
Well, that was a lot of bold predictions. I got a nice stupid prediction if you guys want to hear it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Since free agents aren't official till they sign the contract, I think Mara is going to show up to Barkley's house and try to convince him to come back here. Yay! Right, everybody clap. Yay! I told you it was going to be stupid. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Fuck.
What I do here?
Oh, I have an idea. Mike, you said if you pee on blue, it turns green. My wife,
yellow and green.
One of my wife's best friends.
Yellow, blue, and green.
Well, your wife's best friend wants me to pee on her. I don't know, John. I don't know.
She's married.
That's
She's
for
already
the
getting
that's for
peed
the other
on.
show, right? That's for mixing up.
John said she's already getting beat on.
That's what mixing up. You know what I'm saying? Dude, girls really like to get peed on.
I could fucking
I'll do it.
piss on this and give it to her, and you would be none the wiser. It would just be green.
I want to get like these bitches that are on OnlyFans. They pee in jars and they just send it to fucking random dudes for money. It's insane. This one girl, I swear to God, she farts in like a jar, like it's airtight,
The
vacuum
one
sealed,
where
and
she
they
went to the
mail it
hospital
out.
because of that. She
Oh,
was
did
trying
she?
to like make herself fart more to sell more jars, and she ended up in the hospital because of whatever fucking she was eating. Whatever she was doing, she put herself in the hospital. I don't know
Unbelievable.
exactly what the details were. I just heard the story secondhand, but it's
I'm
stuck with
sorry.
me.
I'm sorry for all you guys listening to sports that I had to go there and turn this podcast R-rated at the end. I apologize.
I'll flip it back real quick. One other thing that we didn't really touch on is a lot of veteran quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, Kirk Cousins, they found new teams this season. There's always decent veteran quarterbacks that could be available if this Drew Lock and Daniel Jones experiment falls apart and we don't draft a quarterback, right? So there is always that to keep in mind because everybody thinks, oh, God, it's over if we don't take one. It's not the case because we could go veteran quarterback. And by the way, Kirk Cousins, hats off to that fucking guy. He was in fucking RG3 and Andrew Luck's draft, went in the third round, and fucking he's going to be one of the most highest paid fucking quarterbacks all time. He's in the top 5 currently. Like, that guy's amazing. When you think of it that way, like, no.
Where is he playing
have a
now?
ring, but he'll finish as the top 5 paid quarterback today, as of now.
Where is he playing
now?
now?
Mahomes and all those guys can crush it, right?
What team is he with now?
He just signed with Atlanta. That's why they're not in the equation anymore to move up for a quarterback. They went out and gave him nice money
Justin
too.
Fields goes. Justin Fields. Where's
I
he?
don't know. That's why, Vin, with your bold prediction, technically right now, trading up to Chicago, they still have Fields.
I don't want Caleb Williams. I don't want Caleb Williams. I don't want him. I don't want him. Eats his nails, cries to his mom.
Thank you.
Picks, doesn't
That's
work
your
out.
bold
There's a
prediction,
lot
bro.
of
You
red
guys can
flags
pay
with
each
that
other's
guy. I
fingernails.
want nothing to do with him.
Thank you.
Nothing.
Way too many red flags. That
Whoa.
I hope the Redskins.
last year.
I hope the
13
Redskins.
million NIL money. I want nothing to do with him.
Finn, now let's hope the Redskins get him at 2. This way, it's
Oh,
gonna be like
Mikey Boy would
RG3
be very
all
happy.
over again. Sorry, Malarson, we're not trading with you. You keep him. You keep Caleb. He stinks.
And whoever
That kid's got fucking Redskins written all over him, bro. You're
well,
absolutely
Washington's
that story's already written.
Their OC, Killingsburg, whatever.
Cliff Killingsbury. He looks like that guy. What Ryan Reynolds or fucking one of those guys?
People forget he coached.
Deadpool?
He coached Caleb.
I don't know.
He coached Caleb. Cliff
He did.
Killingsburg. His
Killingsbury.
connections with Caleb.
Jules. You saying
Kingsbury,
Caleb or Kaleb?
Killsbury.
Right, Cleve.
Tackleberry. I think his name
I
is
did
Cliff
say I would say
Tackleberry.
Cleve until the draft, so Cleve it is.
Jules, you are terrible at pronouncing coaches or players in the entire NFL.
Fuck that shit. I make it sound cool.
You said it right this time. That's what threw me off.
Like, oh, Cliff Dingleberry? Tackleberry?
Next 6 months of leave.
Listen, I gotta keep you guys. I gotta make sure you guys are paying attention when I talk.
Well,
listen, I think that wraps up this episode and free agency to this extent. I don't know if the Giants are going to make any more big splashes, but the way the last fucking 2 days went, who the hell knows? And that's it. Then we're kind of just going to chill and sit back until draft day. Might get like another, unless there's some crazy shit that unfolds in the next couple of weeks, we'll probably take the next week off. Maybe the week after, we'll see. And then we'll do a little pre-draft show as, all the pro days finish up as they're going on right now because Bo Nix had a pro day today. Apparently looked great. Now he can throw the ball 90 yards on
How
one.
many GMs were there? I heard
Yeah.
GM there.
Boy, listen.
it was a Wendy's employee. It wasn't even a GM.
we're wrapping shit up. And Vin, thank you again for coming on.
Thanks, Vin.
Mike, Jules, we're all out. We'll see you guys soon. Let's get ready for the 2024 season because, like always, it'll be here before you know it. Peace.
Go Giants.
Go blue.